Okay, let's cross over now to Temple at the trading floor. Hello, Temple. So how is the day looking like for the equities, and who are the drivers this morning?
It's still the banking sector that seems to be driving up the market, but we've seen a little bit of losses at this point again because the index has dipped by some 0.03%. But the analysis of traders this morning as they're resuming trading is that the pattern with which the market went yesterday should be the pattern that the market will also take today, because again, folks are kind of interested in the share buyback proposed by Dangote Cement yesterday. They do hope that that is something that will also push up the price of Dangote Cement today. Some traders and investors go out there to look for funds to come, put on this particular company. Although there's also a caveat to that investors need to be very cautious in trading on Dangote Cement. But I think eventually we'll see the level of that participation or demand that we saw on it yesterday, because recall it was actually up by more than 2% in share price yesterday. Today, investors do expect it to actually cross 150 naira per share. Again, we've seen some of the earnings trickling in. A lot of companies that haven't declared their numbers again have now been, submitting their Q3 of course 9 months numbers to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, perhaps because the deadline for submission is now closed. I think it should be today, the 31st of October, and so to avoid some sanctions, to avoid penalties or some kind of suspension of trading on the shares of companies, investors or companies rather, are then submitting their numbers. We've seen May and Baker this morning. We've seen Global Spectrum, one of the energy companies, of course, in the market. We've seen Jalpol as well, being submitted this morning. And of course, a lot of the companies have submitted mixed earnings, which is something that we do hope that in one way or the other will shape the market performance today again. Of course, we know that for the greater part of last week, things were not too good. The investors reacted negatively to those mixed numbers. This week, we've also seen just a few positive numbers or positive results in the market, and those ones that are even positive did come in with some level of mixed feelings, So it's part of what will really shape the market's performance today. But the optimism is there. That's the way the market actually ended yesterday, with some 25 basis points up yesterday. We should see that level of participation here today. Again, because the prices of some of the mid and large cap companies have actually tanked. So investors may want to do a little bit of bargain hunting on some of those companies and then see how that will, at the end of the day, show up the indices of the Nigerian stock market. Chimeze.
All right, so with those numbers coming in today, what stocks are on the radars of the traders for buy, sell, or hold?
So Zenith Bank at this point is doing well, up almost 1%. And of course, it is one of those companies that has really seen so much of the bearish heat in recent times. Now we've seen traders trying to, bargain on it, see how they could make entry, and if it's 10 kobo or even 5 kobo that they're able to add, in units to the millions that they've put on it, then they will continue to do that. That's basically the way to go right now. Speculative trading, that's the only way to go to make some, to record profits at this point. For a lot of folks that have actually put money on companies like that before now, some 2-3 months ago, their hope right now is for the rally that will come, during the Yuletide. Because again, tomorrow we are stepping into November. Not so much is being expected in Q3 and Q4. So the only time you have to harvest or make profits will be towards the Yuletide period, which is when we see the Yuletide rally or Christmas rally, or if you like, New Year rally. So that's basically the trend that we are seeing right now. The other company I think investors have been eyeing and checking is the Dangote Cement because of the press statement that came from that company yesterday regarding the share buyback. A couple of other banking stocks will be watched. You have Access Bank. Yesterday was up. Some folks that were not able to buy in yesterday will also check that area. And of course, the insurance stocks are always this point, good to go for investors. They are still, buying and of course selling because of course the recapitalization is still in the air. And of course, that's something that will continue to drive this particular sector till June 2020, when the recapitalization deadline will then take effect.
All right, Temple, let's see what happens later when you bring us update. Thank you.